Beatrix, Act 4, Scene 1, a room in Rufaldo's house. Enter Antonio, dressed in Selina's apparel, with Hilaria. Antonio, have I not done my part, wench, with confidence to proceed thus far with thy father? Either I am infinitely like my sister, or they are all mad with credulity. But our good fathers are blinded with their passions, and that helps me much. While I do but think upon the night's work, there lies my masterpiece. Thy habit is for thy sake, Hilaria. I have assumed this habit. The end will speak it. But what will you do? Antonio is lost now. Antonio to Hilaria. Well enough, he is supposed to go after Selina, and has not returned yet. Of my brotherly love, they will imagine I have but taken a journey in quest of a sister, time enough to return again, and he goes far that never does, wench, by story. Yes, there's a note that this is meant to ridicule the garden scene in Romeo and Juliet. Enter Babalcus, welting his sword. Here's Babalcus. Babalcus, Antonio is gone. No news of him. I am glad of that. I hope he will come no more. Antonio, how now? What means this? What? Sword drawn? Hilaria, and he is wetting it. Antonio, for heaven's sake, what's the matter? Babalcus, nay, nothing, I do, but, Hilaria, but my virginity, you make me afraid. What's the matter? Antonio, he means to fight with somebody on my life. Hilaria, heaven defend it, good sir, tell me. Babalcus, be not afraid, gentlewomen, for I do but, you see, Hilaria, but what? Babalcus, whet my long knife, somebody shall smart for it, but, Antonio, he does mean to challenge them. Buddy, Hilaria, I charge you, if you love me, tell me who's your enemy. Babalcus, nay, nobody, I do not mean to fight if I live. Antonio, what? Babalcus, nay, nothing, sweet ladies, be not troubled, I do but sharpen my sword. Hilaria, tell me the truth, why? Babalcus, I was eating oysters the other day, and I had never a knife, and so, Antonio, come, there is some other matter in it, pray tell me. Babalcus, well, you are my friends, if you chance to hear of any man's death shortly, then say Babalcus. Hilaria, I hope you do not mean to kill any man in the field, you make me tremble, I'll assure you. Babalcus, no, sweetheart, do not tremble, I will but he makes a thrust lose my honour, I'll be carved first. Antonio, what a capon's this? Aside, pray let me persuade you, Hilaria and me. Babalcus, no, it is but in vain to persuade me. I am resolved. You love me. Do not use any arguments. The Cupidinian fires burn in my breast, and like the oven Etna, I'm full of squibs and crackers. I'd almost forgot. Hilaria, the oven Etna. I shall be baked then. What a fury are you in? He looks like the god of war, but Babalcus, the god of war. I think I have reason. Hilaria, I must, and I will, and all the world shall not hold me. Hilaria, but you shall not go away thus till you be calmer. Babalcus, oh, that I were a flea upon his lip, there would I suck forever and not skip. I'll carbonado him, his face doth far excel all other like a blazing star. We mortals wonder at vouchsafe to cast off the sparkling diamond eyes thou hast. But let me go on, me thy vowed creature that is confounded with thy form and feature. Exit. Antonio, is the fool mad? Hilaria, he has something in his head, and it were out. But here comes our fathers. Enter Cornelio and Rufaldo. Cornelio, Antonio not heard of yet. Rufaldo, this morning we wanted a bride too, but she was found. Mary, I cried for her first. Father, come, my brother. Antonio is but gone to look his sister. Ah, my sweet wench, when shall we to bed? Cornelio, I hope it is so, and yet he stays too long. Enter Gorgon, dressed as at first. Here's Gorgon, Sarah. Where have you been all this day? Gorgon, indeed, sir, I've made inquisition. Both my tongue and my feet have walked, but my mistress is not to be found or heard of, I assure you. Rufaldo, Gorgon, hast lost thy senses. Here, Selina, Gorgon, mistress, then we are all made. Capering. Cornelio, but Sarah, your master Antonio is gone. Gorgon, gone and wine, sir, for joy of his sister's finding again. Cornelio, go your way, Sarah, and either bring me news of him, or look me in the face no more. You'll find we jest not. Gorgon, pray, sir, let me take my journey in the morning. The wedding night is fatal. I hope your worship does but jest. I may be drunk tonight, and wake early enough to be gone for day two. I beseech you, sir. Antonio, pray, sir, let him stay tonight. Gorgon, by this hand, there he is. Where? Did not I hear his voice? Cornelia, away, sir. Gorgon, I have been mad all this while, and now am like to be my own man again. Since there is no remedy, the gentles all good night. Gorgon begins to be a wandering knight. Exit. Cornelia, I cannot be heartily merry. Well, let us leave these two without any more ceremonies. It is late. All joys be multiplied on my son and daughter. Good night. I do comfort myself with hope of Antonio's return, and yet my fears are great. Exit. Rufato lights there. So, welcome, thou much expected knight. I do salute thy black brows. Come, my Selina, shalt find I have young blood. Hilaria, do service to your mother. Make her ready. Antonio, it is time enough. Rufato, and why should we lose any? I pray thee, let her come. I notice your virgin modesty loth to part with a maidenhead, but it must oft come prithee, be not idle. Why thou knowest I married thee, Selina, so thou lovest me. Exit Hilaria. Antonio, sir, by that love, I must entreat you one thing. Rufato, anything, sweetheart. Antonio, to ratify an ancient vow I made. Rufato, any vows, what is it? Antonio, I vowed, whenever I married, my husband should not lie with me the first night. Rufato, should anybody else? Antonio, not any man. Rufato, come, was a foolish vow. It must be broke. Not lie with me the first night were a sin beyond incontinency. I'd rather lose half my state than miss thee by an hour out of my arms this night. Antonio, it is but one night. Rufato, oh, it is an age, a world of time to me. Why, I have fed on oyster pies and rumps of sparrows a whole month in expectation of the first night, and leave it for a vow. Antonio, indeed you must. Rufato, how? Must. Come, I know you do, but just this is but your device to wed me on, and heighten me, as if old age at once had soaked up all my marrow. Hark you, how old ye think I am? Antonio, some 70. Rufato, out upon thy judgment. Why, by all computation, I am not above 6 or 37. Note on make her unready. About Hilaria, it may be observed once for all that to make ready signified to dress, to make unready, to undress. I was restored, renewed, when first I loved thee, by this hand I was. Antonio, I see then you will tire me by this beard, you must not lie with me tonight. Rufato, how, nay, then I see you will try my strength, thus I could force you. He takes hold of Antonio, throws him down. She has thrown me down. I know not how to take it, nor how to bear it. My bones ache, a pox on Gasparo, my conscience. I am an old fool, I will see more, and set a good face on it. Aside and rising on his knees, you know who I am? Antonio, yes, old Rufato. Rufato, ha, oh, it is so, my spirits faint again. Aside, what did you marry me for? Antonio, to make an ass of you. Rufato, how? Antonio, thou credulous fool. Didst thou imagine I should ever love thee, or lie with thee? But when I have a child, would shame the father. Oh, the power of dotage, that, like an inundation, doth overcome the little world. If man drown all his reason, and leave him spoiled even of his common sense, does think I was a piece of stone sawn out by carver's art, so cold, so dull of soul, so empty of all fire to warm my blood? I'd lie with thee, worse in the frigid zone, or icicles that hang over the beard of winter. Have I, with wearied patience, looked to see, when thou hast laid violent hands upon thyself for being so mad, so impudent to love me? And wouldst thou bed me too? Didst thou not tremble to dare the holy rites and nuptial tapers? So dull of soul, note old copy reads so out of soul, an evident repetition of the word in the preceding line. I have no great confidence in that substitute being the right one. Oh, impious sacrilege! Hence go, waste thyself with sorrow, pine that half-starved body until thy bones break through thy skin and fall to dust before thy face. Nay, you shall endure me, for since you've tried me to you, I will be thy constant fury, worse than hags or nightmares, if thou dost talk of love or seek to be a reconcilement. Rufato, Selina, sweet Selina, hear me. Antonio, sweet, oh, villainous presumption, beats it. Rufato, what will you do? Antonio, save a disease, a labor, make an end of you. Consider, swear to observe what I shall impose upon you. Rufato, anything, bitter Selina. Antonio, first, you shall never solicit me to lie with you. Rufato, never by this hand, and thank you too. Antonio, stand bare in my presence. Rufaldo, stark naked. Antonio, run of my errands. Rufaldo, to the world's end. Antonio, and keep a whore under my nose. Nay, I will allow it. Rufaldo, if you will have it so, I am content. Antonio, swear, sir. Rufaldo, flesh and blood, I do swear. Antonio, so rise in hope of your conformity. Forbear to let the punishment be equal with your deserts. Rufaldo, oh, I have married a devil. I shall be utterly disgraced if this be known. Aside, pray, sweet wife, let me beg one request of you, that you would not discredit me. I will be content to endure your pleasure. Do not forsake my house. I beseech that you would lie with my daughter. Antonio, shall you appoint my lodging? Rufaldo, oh no, I do but humbly entreat you will be pleased to lie with my daughter. Antonio, well, since you submit so respectably, I will tender your credit in that point upon your good behavior. Are you not well? Follow, I am the worse for you by 40 marks. One thing more, virtuous wife, that you would not tell your father, nor anybody else, how you have beaten me. Good night, sweet, virtuous wife. Exit. Antonio, haha. Hilary, my way to thee is free. I beat my passage, and I come to thee. Exit. Scene 2. A part of the country. Enter Felice, habited like a shepherdess, Selina and shepherd. Selina, I had thought the woods and such wild groves as these had been the house of a rapine, and could not afford humanity. Beasts and men like them are wont to make such places desolate. Did nature make you thus at first, and are we that have cities, houses, civil laws, more rude than you? Or hath all virtue chose you as diviner earth to dwell upon? Fair shepherdess, indeed, I am in love with your wild kingdom here, and would not be a king abroad if I might be a subject with such fair nymphs as you. A shepherd, oh, son, you would say so, when our pleasures all you know. We are not oppressed with care with which you in cities are. A shepherd is a king whose throne is a mossy mountain, on whose top we sit, our crook in hand, like a sceptre of command, our subjects sheep grazing below, wanton frisking to and fro. Felicia, we nothing fear, awake nor sleep, but the wolf guarded our sheep. On a country quill each plays madrigals and pretty lays of passions and the force of love, and with ditties heaven does move. Birds will listen to our song, and to leafy arbors throng, to learn our notes and mistress' name, valleys echoing with the same. Second shepherd, when we hunt, as there is store of deer, the trembling hare and boar, you would think that you had seen gods and shepherds' weeds again. 100 pretty nymphs at pace, tripping over the lands and chase. As many lads of gentle wear playing with their dangling hair. Felicia, sometimes we dance a fairy round, hand in hand upon the ground, shepherds piping garlands, crowning with our harmless bosoms. First shepherd, drowning. Second shepherd, walk unto the silver brook, you shall need no other hook to catch the dancing fish withal, but a song or madrigal. Felicia, when the clouds let fall their showers, we have at hand 100 bowers, where under sweetbriar safe are we, and honeydroppy woodbine tree. Here, in spite of storms, we tell stories of love, of Philomel of Paris, and the golden ball of Echo and Narcissus fall. Shepherd, here no false love brings despair, jealousy, suspicion, care, always happy most of all on Sylvanus festival. Selina, no more, good shepherds, you undo a boy with the opinion of his happiness. If a few jewels I have brought with me may find acceptance, sir, I shall bestow them as freely as your loves have fallen on me. Nay, then, I'll force them on you. I have left to purchase a flock with you. First shepherd, we thank you, gentle boy. Gooden, we must do our flocks again. Exit shepherd. Selina, but shepherdess or sister, if thou wilt, oh, would thou wert! I prithee call me brother. Hath love a part among you? Tell me, pray, what punishment afflict you on false love? But sure you are exempt from such a misery. What then is her reward, that out of peevishness condemns the honest passion of her lover, insults upon his virtue, and doth place unworthily her affection? Yeah, though such a woman need no curse, being one herself or worse, yet we shepherds use to say, may she love another day, and not be loved, die in despair, and have no other tomb but air. Enter Infortunio, distracted. Infortunio, pray, where did you get that face, that goddess face? It was Selina's once. How came you by? Did she on her deathbed bequeath her beauty as a legacy? Not willing it should die, but live and be a lasting death to Infortunio. Oh, she was cruel, but not to bury with her. But I'm a fool, 'tis Venus and her son. Where be your bow and arrows, little Cupid? Didst thou maliciously spend all that quiver upon my heart, and not reserve one shaft to make Selina love me. Tell me, Venus, why did you use me so? You shall know more. Be Queen of Love states that Cupid was blind. How comes he now to see? Yes, he did see. He never could have wounded me so right. Else, why then let Fortune have her eyes again, and all things see how wretched I am made? Selina, oh, is there not within the power of art how to restore this gentleman? Felicia, there is, and out of that experience we have in these woods of simples, I doubt not, but to apply a remedy. Selina, he will be worthy of your care herein, and should he be, which I cannot imagine, ungrateful to your skill, I would reward it, and call your mother or my sister for it. Felicia, it seems you have some relation to him. Lena, indeed, he is the dearest friend I had. If my blood were powerful to restore him, I'd spend it like a prodigal. I know Selina. Fortunio, how do you know Selina? She is married to Rafaldo, the old usurer, and went to bed afford to his money, and begat 40 in the 100. Now he beds Selina, and lays his rude hand over her sacred breast. Embrace her fair body, now he dares kiss her and suck ambrosia from her lip. Those eyes that grace the day now shine on him. He her in Timaeon, she his silver moon, the tongue that's able to rock heaven asleep, and make the music of the spheres stand still, to listen to the happier air it makes, and mend their tunes by that voices now devoted to his ears, those cheeks, those hands would make good gods proud to touch, or by his touch profaned every hour. Oh, this makes me mad, but I will fit them for it, for I'll die, it may be then shall weep, and let fall tears upon my gravestone, which shall be of marble, and hard like her, that if she pour out floods, no drop shall sink through it to soften me. I will be wrapped in lead to keep out prayers, for then I know she'll beg I would be friends, but then I will be just and hate her love, as she did mine, and laugh to see her grieve. Selina, come, I will fetch Selina to you, if you will sleep. Fortunia, will you? Then I will live, and you shall be my best boy. I scorn to weep or shed another tear. Sit down, I'll have a garland for my boy. If phoenix feathers, flowers are too mean to sit upon thy temples. In thy face are many gardens. Spring had never such a note on the tongues that is able to rock heaven asleep. It seems a little extraordinary that among the numerous extracts produced to explain the well-known passage in Shakespeare, and when love speaks, the voice of all the gods makes heaven drowsy with the harmony, this surely should not have been quoted, especially as none of the others are to the purpose. The roses and the lilies of thy cheeks are slips of paradise not to be gathered, but wondered at. Selina, but you said you would sleep when you slept less. Fortunio, I remember before I loved, but that was I know not when, my best boy. I slept soundly and dreamt of gathering nosegays. 'Tis unlucky to dream of herbs and flowers. Felicia, for Selina's sake, I'll try my best skill and get him to sleep. Your presence, I see, is powerful. Yonder is a pleasant arbor. Procure him thither, while I prepare the herbs whose precious juice may, with heaven's blessing, make him well again. Selina, 1,000 blessings on you. Come, sir, go with me, and when you have slept, I'll fetch Selina to you. And Fortunio, prithee do. I am very drowsy. Come, I'll dream of something. My eyes are going to bed, and late in sleep doth draw the curtains over them. Selina, will you go with me? And Fortunio, yes, and we will pick a dish of strawberries. Exit. Scene 3, a forest. Enter Jenkin. Jenkin has almost lost herself in these woods and wilderness, was very weary of these journeys and travels and footbacks, have not since her comings beheld any reasonable creatures. Bless us all, Jacarello is lost too, cannot tell where is these masks and labyrinths. Jacarello, so ho, echo, so ho. Jacarello, ha, there is somebody's yet. Hark you here is a gentleman of Wales you look desires very much to have speeches and confabulations with you. Where is her? Echo, here is her. Jenkins, here is her. Not which ways to come to her. Pray tell Jenkins where you be. Echo, booby. Poobies. Was her call Poobies? 'Tis very saucy travels. Her will teach her better manners and moralities, if her get her in reaches and circumference of her Welsh blades. Truly, Echo, you lie. Jenkin, how lies and poobies too? Hark you, Jenkin, was give you mauls and knocks for your poobies and lies and indignities. Look for your pates now. Runs out with his sword drawn. Scene 4. Another part of the same. Enter Jenkins. Here is no bodies but bushes and briars. Look you, all is very quiet, so ho. Echo, ho. Jenkin, her am very much deceived now comes into our minds. If these voices be not echoes, echo, echo. Jenkin, 'tis very true. But her marvel much have her echoes in these countries. Pray you, Echo, yes, pray you. warn her 'tis a Welsh echo was followed Jenkins and loves out of Wales, echo out of Wales. Jenkins, 'tis very true, bless us all now, are called to remember, says in memories, her had communications and talkings with this very echoes in Morganshire and devals and tales there. Look you her and very glad her hath met with echoes was born in her own country. Tark you Jenkins was travel hither out of loves and affections to Selina. Echo nay. Jenkins nay. Yes, very true. Pray you tell her, be Selina in these woods or no? Echo no. Jenkins no. Where is her then? Have her taken all these labors and ambulations and vanities? Say you shall Jenkins then go back as he came? Echo as he came. Jenkins go on. It is not possible. It may be Selina was turned spirits and be invisible. Rather, she is not gone, verily. Echo, there you lie. Jenkins lie very well. You have privileges to give lies in all things in the world, but her will not leave these woods for all that. Her will be pilgrims all days of her life, ere her go without her. Echo, go without her. Jenkins, how not love Jenkins? Then there is a devil in all female sexes. Know very well she promised loves and goodwill in times great while ago. Pray you now, her will talk no longer with you. No, Jenkins gone. Here is probably some omission, but the matter seems scarcely worth the labor of investigation. The whole of the scene is an evident burlesque of the conversation which passed between Caracas and Echo, and the hog hath lost his pearl. The editor of the play thinks the idea was taken from Lord Stirling's Aurora, but the idea, such as it is, was common enough before Lord Stirling was born. Scarcely a poem or tale appeared without some dialogue of this kind. The folly continued to the time of Butler, who drove it out of fashion by his matchless ridicule of Echo and Orson. Fare you well, Echo. Pray, if you meet her pages, bid her make haste and expeditions after you. Fare her well, Echo. Fare you well. It's the end of scene 4. So another part of the same. Scene 5, a street enter Gorgon, disguised like a maimed soldier. Gorgon, I think Jupiter has snatched up my master Antonio to make a gain made of him. He is not to be found, yet I've searched all the taverns in the towns. I'm sure that method my nose led me to, hoping he had been a good fellow. But non est inventus, while my stock is bent, but with this terrible face, a buff jerkin, and a roaring basket hill, Gorgon will have a trick of wit to bear his own charges. But here comes a gentleman to my postures now. Again enter Gasparo. Gasparo, I am resolved. Gorgon, good your worship bestow a small piece of silver upon a poor soldier new come out of the Low Countries that have been in many hot services against the Spaniard, the French, and Great Turk. I have been shot 7 times through my body, my eyes blown up with gunpowder, half my skull seared off with a cannon, and had my throat cut twice in open field. Good your worship, take compassion upon the caterwauling fortunes of forlorn gentlemen that have lost the use of my veins. Good your generous nature, take compassion upon me. Gorgon, good your worship, surely he had brainworm in his mind when he wrote this, but such characters are common enough in all plays, and are probably far from rare in the streets and highways. But 4 fingers and a thumb upon one hand can work, and will not. One small piece of grateful silver to pay for my lodging, I beseech you, venerable sir. Gasparo can't not see, Gorgon, only low glimmerly, sir, the beams of your gentility have radiated and infused light into my poor lantern, sir. Gasparo, can you feel then? Gorgon, oh, sir, that faculty alone fortune and nature have left inviolate. Gasparo, here is somewhat for thee. He kicks him, and Gorgon opens his eyes. What can you see now? Gorgon, Gasparo, is it you? Pox on your benevolence. Gasparo, whence came this project of wit? Gorgon, from the old predicament, faith, necessity that has no law, put me into this habit. My master has turned coward and run away from me. Gasparo, and thou art turned soldier to fight with him when you meet again. Thou wantest a master? Hark, Cyril, what sayest thou to another project? Gorgon, oh, I could caper for it. Gasparo, I am now leaving the world and going into the country. Will turn gypsy or shepherd. I aim for the woods. Can't repeat thy madrigals yet. Gorgon sings, Phyllis fair, do not disdain the love of Corydon thy swain. Gasparo, excellent. We'll turn shepherds presently. Thou shalt be Phyllis, and I'll be Corydon. Let me learn to provide russets, crook, and tarbox. They say there is a good hospitality in the woods, and songs and pastime upon Sylvanus Day. Gorgon, but that were pretty. Shall I be a woman? Gasparo, by any means thou hast a good face already, and little simpering will do it. I'll accommodate thee early. Keep thy own counsel, and I'll warrant thee for a maid Marian. Gorgon's foot. Shall I run into my coats again? Go to put me into what shape you will. I'll play my part. Methinks I do feel 100 rural animals taking up my petticoat already. Exit scene 6. A room in Rafaldo's house. Enter Antonio disguised as before, Babalcus and Hilaria. Antonio, pray forward with your relation. Babalcus, as I was saying, having challenged Antonio for the front he did me before Hilaria here, by heaven, you must say nothing. Hilaria not a syllable. Babalcus, he did accept the challenge. The weapons were soon agreed upon, and we met, but not a word of fighting, if you love me. Antonio, you are not coming to fight yourself, but, by the way, what were your weapons? Babalcus, a long sword. Antonio, 'twas long ere you could remember, methinks. Babalcus, as soon as we came into the place appointed, we looked about and saw all clear. Hilaria, as clear as day on your side. Babalcus, we drew, but not a word of fighting by this hand. Antonio, not by that hand. Babalcus, we threw our doublets off to shew we had no coat of mail or privy shirt upon us against the laws of duelling. In fine, I bid him say his prayers. Antonio, 'twas well thought upon. And what did ye? Babalcus, I let them alone, for I knew I should kill him, and have time enough to say to them afterwards at my leisure. Later, when he had prayed, what then? Babalcus, when he had said his prayers, he thought upon it, and let fall words tending to reconcile my conscience. He would have asked me forgiveness, but I stood upon my honor, and would fight with him. And so we stood upon our guard, but not a word of fighting, if you love me. Antonio, oh, by no means. When did you fight? Babalcus, I'll tell you, Antonio, when he saw no remedy but that I would needs fight with him, and so consequently kill him, made a desperate blow in my head, which I warded with my dagger better than he looked for, and in return I cut off his left hand, where amazed and fainting, I nimbly seconded it, as you know I am very nimble, and run my rapier into his right thigh 2 yards. Hilaria, then you were on both sides of him. Antonio, your rapier, did you not say your weapons were long swords? Babalcus, by mine was a both sword and rapier. There is but not a word of fighting, as you love me well, not to weary you with the narration of the innumerable wounds I gave him. I cut off every joint from his toe upwards to his middle by these hilts. Now you may believe me, there ended Antonio, my rival. Judge now whether Babalcus be valiant or not, but not a word of fighting, as you love me, let it die. Antonio, 'twas very valiantly done. Exit. Hilaria, hark you, sweetheart, do you not remember who this is, that you have discovered this business to? This is Selina, his own sister. Babalcus, what a rogue was I not to remember that. Hilaria, do you not know that she is my mother-in-law? Nay, pluck up a good heart. What will you do? There is no running away. Babalcus, have you never an empty chest? Hilaria, what, to hide yourself, that I know you would not do for your credit? Draw your sword and stand upon your guard. We know you are valiant that could kill Antonio so bravely. Babalcus, Hilaria, if you ever loved me, oh, I have made a fair piece of work. Could you not tell me it was his sister? Oh, here they come. He runs behind Hilaria. We enter Antonio with Rafaldo and his officers. Antonio, he hath confessed it, sir. Your daughter heard it, sir. I charge you lay hands upon that murderer. He hath slain my brother Antonio. Oh, did you hear him confess it? Babalcus, here's my confess and be hanged now. Hilaria, I must confess I did. Followed Babalcus, go Antonio. Babalcus, by this hand I do not know how to deny. It's for my credit. Followed, nay, then lay hands on him. Babalcus, yes, brother. Followed Selina, oh, a plague of all comes. What a rogue was I, Antonio. I will have justice away with him. Babalcus, I am a lying rascal by this hand. So we must require Antonio from you, sir, or your blood answers his. Away with him, Hilaria. Babalcus, I shall be hanged then, Father. Hilaria, will you see me hanged? Well, there's no remedy. Would thou hast killed my sister, I am plagued with her, and dare not speak it for shame. I will do what I can to get a reprieve for you, beside Nate, and you all, and you kill folks. You must and take your fortune. Babalcus, a curse of all ill fortune, I kill nobody. Antonio, away, I say, our villain, hence, for I do hear my brother's blood for justice cry.